Final Adjustments is dedicated to preventing and reducing crime. Our primary purpose is to teach men or women how to make the minor adjustments that are necessary in their lives, which will allow them to obtain and maintain a productive lifestyle after incarceration and or rehabilitation. Our motto is anywhere but backwards. Everybody say anywhere but backwards. The words in that mission statement, it says to obtain, and the other one is maintain. Listen to me. To obtain means to come into the possession of something. Maintain means to keep it in existence. Listen. The reason why I say that, everybody say to obtain my sobriety is easy. Our challenge is to maintain it. Say to obtain our sobriety is easy. Our challenge is to maintain it.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome everybody to the Minor Adjustments virtual group. My name is Michael Mickey Williams Jr. And I'll be here with you today. We'll be going over a lot of different things. Every time I hear to attain my sobriety is easy. My challenge is to maintain it. Our motto here is anywhere but backward. Anywhere but backwards. So no matter what particular situation you find yourself in, always remember that motto, anywhere but backwards. Today, we've been going over a lot of different things the last few weeks, and some of the videos have been encouraging for everyone. So today, I'm going to do a little walkthrough from from the workbook, one of the Minor Adjustments workbook, this particular book. We're going to go through that, and we're going to do some little different things today. Let's see what we can add. Let me add the book here. Let's see what we got. Let me get the book up. All right. I want to get the whole. Let me get the book here. All right, so let's see what we got. So we're going to go through. I think I'll start at the beginning of the book today. I'll start at the beginning of the book, and I'll see if I can pull out some principles, if you will, from the workbook. But let's see what we got. All right. Yeah, I'll go through that, and then I'll be able to. This particular book we're going to be walking through, which is the Minor Adjustments workbook. So we'll walk through there in a minute. Let me get everything that I need first set up, and then we'll go from there. All right. Okay. And I hope y'all had a blessed day today. My day was awesome. As always, it's always a beautiful thing to be able to do things. I'm a substance abuse counselor, so I'm able to help individuals who struggle with all types of substance and issues and alcohol and all of those things. So I want to, it's always a blessing to be able to have the opportunity to share with individuals, if you will, you know. So let me see here. All right. Let me see this here. And then we'll be getting into everything we need. All right. All right. That's done. So we should be good. Because I want to, whenever I start, I want to just flow straight from where we are, and I'm gonna just go through the book, and I'm gonna just give you. I'm not going to go through the whole book, but I'm going to give you different things that pertains to the recovery process, if you will. Okay, so let's go to work. Okay, let's see what we got. So remember, we're going to be going from. We're going to be doing things from this particular workbook. All right. So we're going to go through there, and let me give you also, since I'm thinking about it, I'm gonna give you, if anybody's tuned in now and want to get this own workbook for yourself, if you don't have it, I'll put the link so you'll be able to purchase it on your own time. So you'll have the particular book that we're going over, and we'll go from there. Okay, so we're going to go to the workbook. This is the beginning of the workbook, and it says minor adjustments is it says anywhere but backwards. It says they did not obey and incline their ear to me, but they followed the counsel and the dictates of their hearts, and they went backward and not forward. A lot of people always ask me, where did you get the word or the phrase anywhere but backwards? And I got it from that right there. That's a Bible verse to all my faith-based people. That's Jeremiah chapter 7, verse 24. I challenge you to go pick up a Bible or Google it and read it. It's Jeremiah chapter 7, verse 24. It says that they did not obey and incline their ear to me, but they followed the counsel of their evil hearts, and they went backward and not forward. So everybody say anywhere but backwards. So that's Jeremiah chapter 7, verse 24. So let's look at some more parts of this book. Now, this is our mission statement. The mission statement says minor adjustments is dedicated to preventing and reducing crime. Our primary purpose is to teach men or women how to make the minor adjustments that are necessary for their lives, which will allow them to obtain and maintain a productive lifestyle after incarceration and or rehabilitation. These two words you see on the screen, they highlighted obtain, and then you see the word maintain. And what that means is to obtain means to come into the possession of something. To maintain means to keep something in existence. Why is that important? Let me pull over, pause, and park right here for a moment. The reason why those two words, obtain and maintain, are very important is because I realized that while I was actively using my drugs, no matter what the circumstances was, I was able to actually get off of drugs a host of different situations. I go to jail, I'll stop using. I go to a facility, I'll stop using. If the judge said he was going to give me 15 years in prison or I'm going to have to get off these drugs, I will go through that process and get off the drugs. What am I saying? So I realized that no matter what the situation was, I was able to obtain my sobriety. I was able to get it. My problem wasn't obtaining sobriety. My problem was maintaining my sobriety. So that's why here we put to attain. To obtain means to come into the possession of something. To maintain means to keep it in existence. So if you're tuned in now or will watch this video later, don't put too much pressure on yourself if you are already have obtained your sobriety. You have it, you don't have to go get it. I have 15 years removed from when I used to do drugs and alcohol, right? So I didn't have to go obtain my sobriety every year. Once I attained my sobriety in August 2009, I had to find what life skills, what relapse prevention skills, what counseling, what spiritual development I had to do for me to maintain my sobriety. So that's why we tell you in minor adjustment, we tell you to attain your sobriety is easy. The challenge is to maintain it. Right now, I don't know what stage or level you might be in your recovery process, or if you've been in a facility for 5 months, or you've been in there for 5 days or 5 hours. I don't care what level you are. This works for no matter where you are. The key right now is for you to get the needed tools to help you, assist you, in maintaining your sobriety. You have your sobriety now. That's if you got 5 hours, 5 days, 5 weeks, 5 months, or 5 years. It doesn't matter. To obtain your sobriety is the easy part. The challenge is to maintain it. So you got to remember that. That's the key. Let's look at some more. We're going to give you a couple of good ones here. All right. So we're going to look at, we went over that. This is a short story. Watch this. I love a good story, especially a true story. I am always interested in all types of different people from different walks of life. I am as interested in their mess up as well as their successes. I want to know how they ended up where they are and how they fell from where they were. This short story is about two different men that ended up at the same place for two different reasons. One was young and reckless, and the other one was old and wise. The young man got locked up in the early 90s for selling drugs in his community and ended up in prison at Mountain Youth Correctional Facility. As he lived so far from there, he received a visit hardship transfer, which landed him in Riverfront State Prison. Now, once he got there, he was put into a cell with this older inmate, whom we will call Mr. Mike. This older man first got to know the younger man to find out what crimes he committed and also to figure out how much time he had to do. Then he explained to the younger man that he was in prison for murder and that he was never going home. So as the years are going by, Mr. Mike would always talk to this younger man and tell the younger man that he has to change his direction about what to do with his life. Watch this term, inside prison. He had to change his direction about what to do with his life inside prison. It's an inside job. And not to wait until he got home to try to change his course. I hope y'all getting these pointers right here. Finally, the time came for the young man to be paroled, and Mr. Mike just kept reminding him about what he told him and said to the younger man, remember, if you keep committing crimes, they will keep locking you up. And sooner or later, they will lose the keys that they locked you up with. So about 6 months goes by, and the younger man was returning to Riverfront State Prison with new charges and with another sentence to do. And you wouldn't believe it, but guess who was still there? Mr. Mike. The two never got to be in the room again, but they will always sit and talk about the life inside and outside the prison. The younger man would sit and listen to Mr. Mike and hear every word spoken out of his mouth, whereas the younger man was amazed at the fact that Mr. Mike would have his back to the person he was playing in chess while simultaneously giving the young man some knowledge about life. Mr. Mike would just ask his competitors what move they just made, and he would instruct someone to move his pieces to so-and-so, and he would win all day that way. Again, excuse me, the years went by, and now the younger man was being paroled to a halfway house. Mr. Mike would say to the younger man, remember what I said. Therefore, the younger man went to the halfway house and got sent back to prison because of violating the rules. So he went to the Northern State Prison, as said, to do his time. After finishing his time, they sent him back to Riverfront State Prison, and Mr. Mike was still there. So as always, they would sit and talk, and the younger man would listen and watch Mr. Mike play chess. One day, Mr. Mike told the young man to play basketball on his team. So the team, Mr. Mike coached, and they won championships together. The years went by, and it was time for the younger man to be paroled. So he went home and did the same thing and received more time for selling drugs and robbery. But they had built a new prison in Bristol, New Jersey called Southwood State Prison. By this period, the young man was sent there, and if he didn't have anything consistent in his life, it was his repeated failure and Mr. Mike. This is because Mr. Mike was at Southwood State Prison, and out of all the things that Mr. Mike told the young man from the years they were together, it was that statement that would change him forever. Mr. Mike said to him, all I want is one chance of getting out of prison, and you have received multiple chances and didn't cherish them. That young man was eventually released from the Southwood State Prison in 2005. He went through the Bo Robinson program. Then he was sent to the Kentuck halfway house, and after there, he graduated from America's Kensington Colony of Mercy, but he never returned to that lifestyle again. Due to the grace of God, and because of what he learned from Mr. Mike and in those programs, he finally applied all of it to his life, and he made the necessary minor adjustments in his life. And that same young man is who you have standing before you today. To God be the glory. The story, I'm going to go back to the story and give you some principles from we can glean from the story. Watch this. That story is about me going to prison over and over again and going into the cell with this person who is a lifer, who is still incarcerated, still to this day. He was in there. He was never coming home. He's still incarcerated. But I kept going in there, getting locked up, going home, coming back, going home, coming back, going home, coming back. And he says, listen, I only want one shot at getting out of here. And you get multiple chances to leave this prison, and you keep coming back. He says, you're not cherishing your freedom. But I want to pull over, pause, and park and give you some real good keys out of this whole story about me and Mr. Mike. So I want you to understand down here in the second paragraph, it says, so as the years was going by, Mr. Mike would always talk to the younger man, tell the younger man, watch this, that he has to change his direction about what to do with his life inside prison. So what that means, he was letting me know that if you don't work on anything while you're incarcerated, if you're in a facility for rehabilitation or drug addiction or alcohol, if you don't work on something while you're in the program, if you try to wait to change something when you leave the program, it's a high percentage that you're going to repeat the cycle of going back to the program. So what the man was trying to teach me, because I was not paying attention, he was trying to teach me that you got to make the changes while you're inside prison. You can't go home and think you're going to change. Likewise, if you're in a rehabilitation center, if you're in a facility, no matter where you are, they have rules in place, and some of the rules you probably don't like. I get it. I've been there, done that, brought the t-shirt. But the rules have to be followed. The rules help you develop discipline, help you be responsible, help you grow, because a lot of times, just because we're 30, 40, 50 years old doesn't mean that we're actually acting mature or good at our discipline. The rules help you develop your discipline, so when you leave the facilities, you'll already be developing your appetite for being a disciplined man or a woman. But you got to understand, the changes you need to make have to be done inside the program. He says you have to make the changes inside prison before you go home. Let's get some more here. Watch this. He says, all right. Again, years went by. Mr. Mike would say to the younger man, remember what I said. He said, one day, Mr. Mike told the young man to play basketball. Mr. Mike coached on the team. Then the years came where the time for the young man was paroled. So he went home. He did the same thing, and he received more time. Watch this. Notice, I went home. I did more crime, but I got more time. So if you're struggling with whatever you're struggling with, it only gets worse. Watch this. In our addiction, and when we're struggling with all types of substances and everything, right? It gets worse. If you notice, as we getting older and as we constantly keep going through relapse after relapse after relapse after relapse, things start to get worse. And also the ability to come back gets harder. Because before, when we were first using our substances and we suffer a relapse, we can go to a facility, we get our weight up, we start looking good, we start eating right, we got clothes now, we get our shine back, right? But the more we keep suffering these relapses, our get back is different. It takes a longer time for us to get our complexion back, get our weight back, get our look back, get our shine back. It takes a lot of time because we constantly keep doing it and we're beating our bodies up. So you got to understand that we got to make those changes inside. But let me show you another part right here. He says, all I want is one chance at getting out of the prison, and you have received multiple chances and didn't cherish them. This is very important. When you learn this, this is a minor adjustment exclusive. If you get this part right here, I can guarantee you'll never go back to using it again. Once you get away, you have obtained your sobriety. You are now in the possession of your sobriety. If you cherish that right now, if you cherish the freedom you have from your alcohol and your drugs and your pills and that criminal lifestyle, if you cherish your freedom away from that, I can guarantee you'll never go back to using it again, because it's so much miserable, so much misery attached to it, so much lying, deception, so much stealing, so much. All of that is attached to the lifestyle we used to live. But now, since I have been free, delivered since August 2009, I cherish my freedom so much that going backwards is not even an option. I cherish being free, waking up, not having to go steal to get a bag of heroin, not waking up to do this and not waking up to do that. All these things I had to do, and I couldn't worry about none of that stuff. I had to worry about none of that stuff, and I had to focus on doing the things that I was supposed to do. And that when you cherish things, right, you got to focus on how you embrace your freedom. So I hope y'all understand that part. It's very important. All right, hold on. Now, this is another article right here. This is why I want y'all to get the books. This is another article right here. Thank you, Lord. When you cherish your freedom, right? When you cherish your freedom away from the substance or the alcohol that you used to do, it puts you in a position to be able to help other individuals. This right here, this is an article that was written in the newspaper. This article talks about a minor adjustments graduation that we did for people who are currently incarcerated. And the reason why I put this article in there is because right after the short story about me being incarcerated, now I'm going back into the institution and I'm teaching individuals about minor adjustments. So I showed you one side. I showed you the side when I was going back and forth to prison. But watch this, y'all. Once I cherish my freedom, now my life changed, and now I'm going back into prison. Watch this, but for a different reason. I'm now going back into the prisons, back into the institutions, back into rehabilitation centers, and I'm trying to teach individuals about making minor adjustments, not because I read it in the book, although I do have a book with it in it, but because I personally lived the minor adjustments that I am appealing for you to make in your life. So once you get to the part of cherishing your freedom, you open the door, or you position yourself to be used on different platforms, not to say that you have to write books or you have to go into places to teach individuals. But I can guarantee you this, that the life you used to live is not the life you was born to live. Woo! The life you used to live is not the life you were born to live. If you cherish your freedom from the substance you used to struggle with, you will position yourself to start to walk into the life you were born to live. Remember, the life you used to live is not the life you were born to live. Let me show you. Watch this. Let me go back to the article. This short story is about when I was in prison. That's the life I used to live. This article right here is the life that I was born to live. That's me going to prison to help individuals. You see it? The life I used to live, I was going to prison. The life I was born to live, I'm going to prison to help the inmates to make the minor adjustments that they need to make so they can walk into the life they were born to live. Remember this if you don't remember anything else. The life you used to live is not the life you were born to live. I hope you take that with you. Remember, anywhere but backwards. Let me see if I can give y'all something else before we get out of here. All right, let's see. That story, I want y'all, man, I put the link in there for you guys. So yeah, I'm going to stop right here because I'm going to do this next week. I'm not going to go into that, but I got a lot of things I want to pull over, pause, and park on right now. Remember, we're just going over the book, Minor Adjustment Workbook. This was just the beginning of the workbook. I want you to try to understand like certain things you need to understand. If we read your short story, I possibly will send a link to that short story and print it out for you guys, or I'll put a link in the comment section. But the short story is talking about a man that was in prison and he was giving me advice. I can't go nowhere past the scripture that said Jeremiah 7:24 at the beginning. Let's go back to that because I want you to understand that if you have time, find a Bible, look this scripture up, Jeremiah chapter 7, verse 24. If you don't have a Bible, Google it. It's Jeremiah 7:24. It says, they did not obey and incline their ear, but followed the counsel and the dictates of their hearts, and they went backward instead of forward. So that lets us know that they were supposed to go one way, but instead of going the way that they were supposed to go, they kept going backwards. Watch this. I just got this. And now that I'm reading it, watch this. Going backwards is the life that you used to live. Going forward is the life that you were born to live. I just got that. I ain't that good, but I just got that just now. Thanks, God. So again, I want you to understand each week we're going to give you just a little bit things that you can use. I hope that they was encouraging for you. I hope that you can find something that can encourage you no matter where you are. Obtain your sobriety is the easy part. The challenge is to maintain it. In order for you to maintain your sobriety, you need to find out what relapse prevention skills you need, what life skills you need, what minor adjustments do you need to make, and more importantly, are you cherishing your sobriety and your freedom from the life that you used to live? Again, we was just here briefly going over a little bit of something. I just want to jump on here and make sure I encourage you. Not only do I want to encourage you and tell you that you can make it, you can do it, and you have a life that you were born to live, and that life does not include you actively using any substance or alcohol. You were born to be something extraordinary. I guarantee it. If you cherish your freedom from the substance you used to live, it will literally position you to live the life that you were born to live. The life or the gift that you were born to live, watch this, you never lose it. You can let it lie dormant and you not walk in it, but you never lose what you were born to do. Again, my name is Michael Mickey Williams Jr., and Minor Adjustments is dedicated to preventing and reducing crime. Our primary purpose is to teach men or women how to make the minor adjustments that are necessary for their lives, which will allow them to obtain and maintain a productive lifestyle after incarceration and or rehabilitation. Our motto is anywhere but backwards. To God be the glory. I pray that you got something out of this lesson today. Thank you.